the first album review of 2023. This is insane. What's up, everyone? Time for a review of the 6th studio album by Colorado-based indie pop band Tennis. Tennis are Alaina and Patrick Riley, and they've been making music for about over 10 years now, as their debut record, Cape Dory, just turned 10 years last year. They had been on many indie labels, from Fat Possum to Communion, to start kind of forming their own label here with Mutually Detrimental, which is the label they're on now. This new album, Pollen, is my first time really getting into one of their albums, as I just got into them last fall when my good friend showed me their song Need Your Love from the record Swimmer. I checked out that record and just was blown away, but I love the song Need Your Love. It's such an interesting pop tune, borrows from the 70s, has some interesting rhythm changes, but it's just such a bop and a half when you really get into it. And that's why I really think I enjoy most about Tennis's music. It's fun, but there's also some introspection, and they continue that on here. Now, I listened to all 3 of the singles before the album came out, which were One Night with the Valet, Forbidden Doors, and Let's Make a Mistake Tonight. And I had different views on all 3 of them, as I'll get into that later. This album here, Pollen, is them polishing up the sound that made them so well known in the indie sphere, while adding a stripped back element to some of these songs. A lot of them will start with an acoustic riff or a blank piano, kind of like a grand acoustic piano. And it's something that's a little bit jarring, because you think of this band as, you know, using the Hammond organ or some other different production technique that's very washed out and meant to feel like it's from a different time. This album feels a little bit more grounded in the respect that the production is a lot more raw on some of these songs. A perfect example of this is the song Paper, which has one of the most interesting instrument choices is a flute that's kind of in the background of the mix, but it adds a lot. And even while my friends even said that, the flute on that song is almost like if you take it out of that song, it's not as good, or it loses something. And that's what I love about the production details on this album. They put so many sounds, but they all feel essential at the same time. Going through some of my favorite songs here, Forbidden Doors was one that I actually didn't like when I first heard it. I couldn't get into it. Something about it just turned me off. But around my 3rd listen to the song, I just started connecting with it. I liked the production, the little snake charmer organ that they put into it, the rolling beat, the way Alaina sings the lyrics, sorry. I really connected with it, and it was something that I just snapped with me, and it's been one of my favorite cuts on the album. I love the symbolism, almost going through these doors in a relationship, exiting in and out, and you never really know where you stand until it's all over. It's a very relatable concept, and I think Tennis really nail it on this track. Also, try getting the earwormy chorus and production of Let's Make a Mistake Tonight out of your head. You can't. The danceable synths on this song, all the different guitar tones that are buried but still have a little bit of a funky spark to them. This song is a jam and a half, and was definitely replayed by me many times. I also like the song Glorietta. I think it's a different cut for them. It starts out a little bit weird because the percussion is just so off kilter. It's like rolling around. It's almost like a boat that's being caught by a certain tide. It's being thrown around. You never really know where it's going. But then that chorus, the way she sings Glorietta, it just brings it all together in the end. And there are many other songs here that I feel it's almost like they're connected for a reason here. A lot of them go into each other. And there are ones that you're like, I mean, is this really an essential track when you first hear it? But then it just builds, which is what I love about this record. Every song, if you don't like it at the beginning, it ends up convincing you by the end that it's a great track. Take the song Hotel Valet. Is it the most fresh from the oven sound that Tennis has done? No, but the airy synths are a nice touch, as well as the rattling percussion, and I love Alaina's sultry voice on here, just creating the atmosphere, and this song is smooth and sexy. I guess that only leaves a couple more songs to talk about. One of them is Pollen's song, which is kind of a folk track at first, but then, of course, the pianos and synths come in. I really like the use of acoustic guitar on this record. I think it really adds a lot to it, and Pollen's song is definitely a top highlight for me as well. One Night with the Valet is kind of a song that I do really just love the atmosphere of this track, but I kind of wish it was a little bit longer. Gibraltar really shows the band's songwriting ability with this almost making a love story, almost painting it at a location, Gibraltar being in Spain, and having all these different emotions poured into it. And I really like the guitar solo on this one. Patrick Riley really lets the guitar rip. Usually he's a little bit more does some rhythm guitar parts, but this song has a ripping, snarky guitar tone to it that I really enjoy. Never Been Wrong is one cut that I have to say is probably my least favorite on the album, because I'm expecting more from it the more I listen to it. I feel like it never hits that mark where I'm fully satisfied. I'm always like, okay, I like the chorus, I like the verse, but can you give me a little bit more? It's a song that I think is decent, it's listenable, but you're not going to be drawing a lot out of it, as with these other cuts. That's what I like about this album, is that I've already listened to it about 3 times now, and I'm almost stumbling over what to talk about, because I'm thinking of so many things while I'm looking about, oh, I like this part of that song, and that part of that song, the drum tone here, the vocal tone here. This album adds a lot, although it kind of feels minimalist at parts. It's not. This is a very, very good record. It's one of Tennis's best albums. I love this record. I'm going to keep playing it. It's definitely going to be in my top 10 of 2023, and we're only in February. I'm giving Pollen by Tennis a 4.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching. Comment and let me know what you think of this album below. Thanks for watching.